For your information, perpetuity is same with infinite geometric series, and what I talk now sometimes called by ordinary perpetuity. This is the diagram of different perpetuity if the perpetuity start from second period. We use the present value in growing perpetuity formula. Present value equals A1 divided by I minus G. Until this, we can make it like this. 2900 times I minus 0.12 equals 112. Then we times the amount with the inside amount. So 2900 I minus 348 equals 112. After it, we move 348 to the right side and the minus sign became plus. So 2900I equals 4. Hi! Welcome back to my channel with me, Elvina. In this video, I would like to share you about perpetuity. But before I start, I wanna ask you, have you ever heard about bonds, stock, securities, or investment? All of it related to perpetuity. But what is perpetuity? Okay, first I will talk about what is perpetuity, what are the varieties of perpetuity, then the example question, and last is your exercise. Before I continue, this is the introduction scenario. You get a prize from a shop and you are able to choose the gift. First, get 50 million rupiahs once, or second, get 1 million rupiahs every 3 months forever. Which one would you choose? This case related to perpetuity. Let's continue. In a simple definition, perpetuity is infinity annuity. It is a continuous series of cash flow of A from one period to infinite periods with equal time intervals. For your information, perpetuity is same with infinite geometric series, and what I talk now sometimes called by ordinary perpetuity. This is the diagram of perpetuity. Start from first period to infinite period with same amount and equal time interval. Then, the formula of present value in perpetuity equals A divided by I, which is A is payment every period and I is the interest rate. We continue with the example. Actually, this is the introduction scenario as said before. Would I choose to receive 50 million rupiahs once or receive 1 million rupiahs every 3 months forever with the interest rate too? In this case, we just need to calculate the present value of second option. I mean, how much would we get from 1 million rupiahs every 3 months forever with interest rate? So, this is the answer. A is 1 million rupiahs and I is 12% or 0.12. We put the amount to the equation, but why the interest rate divided by 4? Don't forget, the interest rate is per annual, and the money we receive is per 3 months, so we need to divide the interest rate for the money we receive every 3 months, and the present value is 33,333,333.33 rupiahs. From the calculation, the amount we get is smaller than 50 million if we choose get 1 million every 3 months. So, it is better if we choose the first option, receive 50 million rupiahs once. Next, we continue with the varieties of perpetuity. There are 4 varieties of perpetuity. First is ordinary perpetuity, prepaid perpetuity, deferred perpetuity, and growing perpetuity. In prepaid perpetuity, the cash flow starts from 0 period or today. And then the formula, prepaid perpetuity equals present value ordinary perpetuity plus A. So the present value equals A per I plus A. This is the example. A firm supplies investment products which give 500,000 rupiahs of cash flow each month starting from the investment is put. If the relevant return is 9% per annual, how much is the fair price of the investment product? This is the answer. A equals 500,000 rupiahs. I equals 9% divided by 12 because it is per month. And then the I is 0.75% or 0.0075. And then the present value 2 equals 67,166 and 666.67 rupiahs. That is the fair price of the investment product. And we continue with the second, the deferred perpetuity. In deferred perpetuity, the cash flow doesn't start from the next period, but from the second period or third period. This is the diagram of deferred perpetuity if the perpetuity starts from second period. And the formula is present value 0 equals present value n divided by 1 plus I to the power of n. To calculate present value n, the formula is same with present value formula in ordinary perpetuity. To determine the value of n, the period of first payment minus 1. Example: assuming an 8% interest rate, calculate the present value of 500,000 rupiahs payment per year forever with the first payment 2 years from today. In this case, the first payment is on second period, so the value of n is 1. If the first payment is on third period, the value of n is 2. Then we put the amount to the formula. We get the present value 1 is 6,250,000 rupiahs, and the present value is 5,787,037.04 rupiahs. Last is growing perpetuity. In growing perpetuity, there is a growing amount of G for each period. In the growing perpetuity diagram, the amount on the second period is different than the first period. The third period also different than the second period. Because what? Because there is a growing value in each period. So, in the first period is only A. In the second period is A times 1 plus G. In the third period is A times 1 plus G to the power of 2, and so on. For the formula is present value equals A1 divided by I minus G, and the formula is based on the stock's fair price formula. Example: how much is the fair price of stock that estimated would give 220 rupiahs of dividend in the next year if the discount rate is 15% per annual and the share dividend is 200 rupiahs. This is the answer. A1 is the estimated amount that we are going to receive, and the value of G can calculate like that. Estimated amount of the next period minus amount received in this period divided by amount received in this period. If in the question is not mentioned the estimated amount we are going to receive, we can calculate that by times the value of 1 plus G with the amount we received this year. Back to the answer, we put the amount to the formula and we get the present value of the fair price is 4,400 rupiahs. Okay, I have talked about the varieties and the example of each varieties of perpetuity. Now, these are 7 questions. You can pause the video if you want to try it, and don't worry, I will explain the answer after it. To make it easier, you can determine the question is what kind of perpetuity first, and then answer the question with the formula I gave before. Starting from the first question, which one is more interesting? Receive pension funds of 120 million rupiahs today, or 2,200,000 rupiahs next year, and always growing by 10% each year forever? Assume that the relevant interest rate is 15% per annum. This is the case of growing perpetuity. So first, we determine the component. In this case, we don't need to calculate the value of G or A because it have mentioned in the question. And then we put it to the formula, and the answer is 44 million rupiahs. So, receive 120 million rupiahs today is more interesting. Then the second question. Andy buys a bond that offers return of 15 million rupiahs each year forever. If the interest rate is 8% per annum, how much is the present value of Andy's investment? This question is ordinary perpetuity. That is the answer. So, the present value of Andy's investment is 187,500,000 rupiahs. Next, number 3. It is prepaid perpetuity. The question, Maju Bersama company issued bond which give cash flow of 1 million rupiahs per year starting from the bonds is bought. If the return is 10% per year, determine the fair price of the bonds. We can know it from the statement starting from the bonds is bought. That means today. We only need to put it to the formula, so the fair price of the bonds is 11 million rupiahs. Number 4. An investment over cash flow of 20 million rupiahs per year starting from 3 years from today with 5% interest rate forever. How much is the present value of the investment? It is the deferred perpetuity, knowing from the statement starting from 3 years. So, the present value too is 400 million rupiahs, and we get present value of the investment is 362,811,791.38 rupiahs. Number 5. A stock is sold for 25,000 per seat. If the interest rate is 6%, how much does the annual cash flow or dividend that investor will receive if the firm pays it forever? It is ordinary perpetuity, and we are asked to calculate the annual cash flow. So, from the formula, present value equals A divided by I, and it is same with A equals present value times I. So the annual cash flow is 150 rupiahs per seat. Number 6. The fair price of a stock that has just distributed dividends of 100 rupiahs is 2,900 rupiahs. If the dividend growth rate is 12%, how much is the discount rate if the stock price above reflects the intrinsic value of the stocks? It is growing perpetuity, and this question is more difficult from before. So, listen carefully. First, we know A0 is 100 rupiahs. The present value of the fair price of stock is 2,900 rupiahs. The growing value is 12% or 0.12. After it, we calculate the A1 or the estimated amount that we are going to receive next period with the formula I said before. A1 equals A0 times 1 plus G. So, A1 is 112 rupiahs. We use the present value in growing perpetuity formula. Present value equals A1 divided by I minus G. Until this, we can make it like this. 2,900 times I minus 0.12 equals 112. Then we times the amount with the inside amount. So 2,900 I minus 348 equals 112. After it, we move 348 to the right side, and the minus sign became plus. So 2,900i equals 460. I equals 0.15, 86 or equals 15.86 86%. That is the discount rate. Last, which one is more interesting? Receive pension funds of 10 million rupiah each year starting from today, or receive 5 million rupiah starting from next year and growing by 10% each year forever if the interest rate is 12% per annum. We have two options. First is perpetuity and second is growing perpetuity. You need to calculate these two like usually and compare each option to choose the bigger one. For the option 1, we get the present value is 93,333,333.33 rupiah. For the second option, we get the present value is 215 million rupiah. So the second option is more profitable. And the answer is receive 5 million each year starting from next year is more interesting. That is the last example, and I have 5 questions for you to exercise. You know, the more questions you do, the more you will understand. Okay, if you still have questions or there are something that you don't understand, you can ask me in the chat box. Don't forget to answer the question in the chat box. So this is the end of the video. I have talked about what's perpetuity, the varieties of perpetuity, the example case, and you have 5 questions to do. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Thank you for watching. See you next video.